Welcome back to our NuWave Leadership YouTube channel. Today, Vishnupriya and myself, Sabrina, the founders of NuWave Leadership, are going to discuss another interesting question that Vishnupriya asked during one of our channeling sessions to the COO, the Collective of One. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Vishnupriya to let us know what the next question was that we asked.
Yes, and this is going to be another very, very interesting question because it is all about healing and where I come from in my past background, as a holistic healer for quite some time. I was very curious to know how to handle that entire healing thing in the 5D world. So, a lot of questions around that I had been asking, and here is one such question. The question is, what creates pain or illness in the physical body, and how can this be healed? I hope most of us are very curious to know the answer to that. So, over to you, Sabrina. Tell us what the COO said.
Yes, let's do this. So, COO said, that is really a process of the beliefs, perspectives, and values that you have that block. Again, the term block is not really right, but slow down the process of energy freely flowing through you. And then it stays contaminated or unpurified for an extended, again, period of time to make it possible for you to grasp what we are talking about. So you are slowing down the flow, the natural flow of the energy through your being, your system. Therefore, it takes longer to purify, and therefore, it creates certain ailments, certain, symptoms in that energy field. So, the more you are willing to let that flow freely again and to not put boxes on anything, the more you will see that the healing process kicks in, which is really a representation of the purification process. Short and sweet. Vishnupriya, what's your take on this, especially as someone coming from the holistic healing world and having so much knowledge around healing?
Wow, this was one another beautiful answer of complete non judgment, right? Me coming from the holistic healing world, I can see how I was functioning when I was there. I was functioning from any ailment in the body is wrong. You have to look at yourself and fix yourself and change yourself. There's so much of wrongness around the entire pain and illness side of things. I couldn't even, when I have something in my body show up, a throat pain or a cold or a cough, anything, I couldn't even show up for myself because then, there's this fear of, oh no, people are going to judge me. I have cough, which means that something is wrong with me and they would judge me for it. And I
Mm.
couldn't show up in the world as a holistic healer, telling the world that I have some ailment. But now, as you can see, that entire perspective changed. In fact, just few days back, I even put out a reel video telling that, hey, today I have some throat pain. You know what? So it's such a huge transformation in me. And now let's come to the answer. So then, what is this pain and ailment stuff, right? So from my previous question, the answer that we were discussing, especially towards the end of the last video, I was sharing with you this image that I got, which is, being a hollow cylinder through which any energy can flow. So here what we are doing, taking up that same image, what we are doing as that hollow cylinder, for example, we are constricting the flow of certain energies with our non-acceptances, right? I'm saying, nope, I can't accept people killing each other. I can't accept, political whatever. I can't accept the pain in my body. There are so many non acceptances that we have with which we are literally creating huddles, the blocks, so to speak, to the flow of energy. And we are kind of slowing down the flow of energy with our beliefs, perspectives, and values, as they say. So, with my beliefs, with my perspectives, I'm blocking the flow of energy that wants to flow through me, which is creating stagnation or creating that slowing down of that energy flow, which then you can imagine as the pain and illnesses that shows up in my body. And there's nothing wrong about it. Again, that's one of the major changes here. It's okay to have pain and illness. It's okay for the body to naturally have that. It just helps us look into it. It just helps us flow again even faster. So it's all aiding the process. So, first, I would say is acceptance to the pain and illness itself, which means that I'm accepting that, hey, I have this pain and illness and it's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm a wrong person. It's okay for me to have it and I accept it. So that's first step of the process. The second step of the process is looking at what are my perspectives, which is in fact creating the slowing down of this energy flow. And how can I shift and change it? How can I see everything as energy and that there is beauty in everything? Whether it's my examples of somebody killing each other or somebody um, everything that triggers you, right? So everything that triggers you, you can look at it and see that, oh, it's just a slow moving energy. What if I can simply accept it and simply allow it to flow through me? How can I become that hollow cylinder again that can you know um, aid the process of purification, aid that process of faster flowing energy more and more? It's from that space we become that open space through which energy can flow again, which is then called as the healing process, which is what creates that healing that allows all that pain and illness to dissolve itself as well. Sabrina, your thoughts, please.
Yes, I was just reflecting as I was listening to you, and what really came up for me is that in most of us, there's this resistance to pain or illnesses in our bodies because it gives a strong statement about ourselves. Either that you are eating the wrong diet, that you're not exercising enough, that you're not having the right lifestyle, that you are not respecting yourself, not taking good care of yourself, that you have done something in your past life, whatever school of thought you come from, that you are being punished by God. I mean, there could be an endless list that we are creating here in this video about what judgment we have around illnesses and body pain and all that. So even for myself, if I look at myself, there was a time in my life that I truly felt almost like I don't have permission to get sick because it represents I am kind of weak and I didn't do something right. There was something that I did the wrong way, and that's why this was created. And that, of course, creates so much slow moving energies in itself. So there might be the illness in itself that has, that creates, for whatever perspective reasons, creates slow moving energies. But then from a 3D perspective, we put another layer on it, judging it so much on so many different levels that there's another even another stream of slow moving energies almost that happens at the same time, which clearly we can see doesn't aid the purification process or the free flow of energy. So the more we are able to remove all those boxes and just go with the flow, that's when we can even relieve or release the pain. And I'll give you an example of my daughter who has migraines. The other day when she came for some reason from a different space, and she was like, that's okay. I'm just going to stay home today. And she slept almost the entire day. There was a very different energy around her. It felt like a faster flowing energy as compared to other times when she was like, oh my God, why have I inherited migraines from, my mother's side of the family? Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to go through this pain? That would create even more pain in her, right? Because she will have all these feelings on top of the pain already. And the other day when she didn't do that, she was actually fine after just sleeping and felt so much better. And on top of that, she didn't have to deal with all those questions and emotions around, why is this happening to me? So our perspectives and beliefs, although in the 3D space where we tend to separate physical ailments from our belief systems often, in fact they are all intermixed and intermingled, and as COO said, our belief systems actually create that experience that we have around illnesses. So yes, the more we can let that go and just let it flow, the more illnesses or pains don't have to play such a big role, I would say, in our lives anymore. And also consider this: in the 3D world, We often feel that the only, and that's kind of a twist to this whole story, that the only justification we have for taking a break from something is a pain or an illness. So in a 3D space, a pain or an illness almost seems like a necessity sometimes. Whereas in the 5D space, where we look at everything from a free flow point of view, an energetic point of view, we will not need an illness anymore to justify anything, to judge anything. So just think about it a little and see what comes up for you as you hear these words. Over to you, Vishnupriya.
Yes, and I really loved your example because I could also see, for example, in my case, as my husband usually has some cold or some kind of pain illness that comes up. Usually, prior to this, most of the times myself and my husband would go into, oh, what created this? What is wrong with him? Is he not resting well? Is he not respecting himself? So much of analysis we'll do, trying to figure out what's wrong with him. But I can see this huge transformation in me that last time, which is like 2 weeks back, I guess, that he got some kind of body pain all through his body. There was like some kind of pain flowing through. And I was not trying to analyze it, researching it, or taking holistic healing books to find what is the reason for it. Rather, I was like, this is just natural process, just be in acceptance of it 2 days and it'll just pass away. So just, take a break and have fun inside the home. Otherwise, he's always physically working in the farm and all of that. So it created so much ease for me and for him. So it's such a beautiful process when we start implementing and using all this content that we are getting from our COO. And I hope this answer helps everybody. And please do like, share, and subscribe. Of course, if you're truly interested in anything that we share here, please do reach out to us. We have our 5D living experiment, which we have opened to anybody can join. So please do contact us, and we are happy to have you in our 5D living experiment. We'll see you in the next video.
Yay. See you in the next video.